How Gwyneth Paltrow reacted to ex-Brad Pitt's marriage to Jennifer Aniston behind closed doors. Gwyneth Paltrow told friend how she really felt about ex-fiancé Brad Pitt wedding Jennifer Aniston in 2000. According to Amy Odell's new biography about the Goop founder, Gwyneth Paltrow and Brad Pitt eventually became friends again. But that didn't mean she was perfectly fine when he married Jennifer Aniston in July 2000, a few years after the Shakespearean love star and Pitt ended their engagement. Barely a month after her ex-fiancé tied the knot, Paltrow was quizzed on how she felt about their nuptials, according to Amy Odell's Gwyneth, a new biography about the actress and Goop founder. Are you really asking me this question? Paltrow told a Toronto Star reporter, Paul Odell, when her film duets premiered September 9th, 2000 at the Toronto International Film Festival. I can't comment on this kind of thing. Yet behind the scenes, according to the book, the Oscar winner had told friends she felt sad when she found out Pitt and Aniston were engaged. And, Odell wrote, Paltrow enjoyed telling her pals that Pitt has terrible taste in women. News reached out to Paltrow's rep for comment, but has not heard back. Read. Gwyneth Paltrow plays Mary, F.K., Kill with Jude Law, Robert Downey Jr. and Timothée Chalamet. It was no secret, however, that her breakup with Pitt left a mark. It really changed my life, Paltrow told Vanity Fair for its September 2000 cover story. When we split up, something changed, permanently, in me. My heart sort of broke that day, and it will never be the same. And her purported comment about Pitt's taste could just as easily have been a self-deprecating dig at herself. I think you have to keep yourself intact in order to have a healthy relationship, and I didn't. I loved every second of it, but it wasn't healthy, she told VF. But I wouldn't change anything. Even the things I hate most about myself or what happened, the darkest moment of it, I wouldn't change, because it's made me what I am. Years later, Paltrow candidly shared that she was the one who wasn't in the right headspace when Pitt popped the question. I was such a kid. I was 22 when we met, she said on the Howard Stern show in 2015. It's taken me until 40 to get my head out of my ass. You can't make that decision when you're 22 years old. I wasn't ready, and he was too good for me. As she put it on Call Her Daddy in 2023, he was ready to do it, and I was kind of all over the place. Meanwhile, Paltrow had been dating Ben Affleck off and on for 2 years when Aniston first flashed a Pitt-designed diamond at New York's Beacon Theatre during a Sting concert in November 1999. Things with Affleck fizzled for good in October 2000, and Paltrow met Chris Martin 2 years later. She married the Coldplay frontman in 2003, and they shared daughter Apple Martin, 21, and son Moses Martin, 19. Aniston and Pitt divorced in 2005, and, though it took time, they turned into friends. Martin and Paltrow consciously uncoupled in 2014, remaining close co-parents and partners in trolling. But it was Paltrow and Pitt who joined forces to sell $2,000 shirts in 2022. I finally found the Brad I was supposed to marry, Paltrow, by then happily wedded Brad Falchuk, quipped to her ex in a Goop.com conversation discussing their God's True Cashmere collab. It just took me 20 years. To which Pitt replied, and it's lovely to have you as a friend now. When she agreed, he said, and I do love you. Paltrow added, I love you so much. Check out more of Paltrow's romantic history en route to meeting the Brad she was meant to marry, Robert Sean Leonard. Young Hollywood in the 90s, right? These two dated in 1994 and kept a very low profile. Almost no proof exists of their romance aside from myriad vague, past-tense references to dating. But the Dead Poets Society star, who incidentally had a small role in the 1990 drama Mr. and Mrs. Bridge, which also starred Paltrow's mom, Blythe Danner, has at least acknowledged that it happened. It was the funniest breakup I've ever had, he recalled to the New York Post in 1998. We were in her apartment, figured we shouldn't see each other anymore, and within 5 minutes she was saying, you know who you'd like? I have this friend. Gwyneth's a bit of a yenta, but she's a great friend. Leonard randomly referenced his ex in a 2013 interview with the UK's Metro when he was about to star in To Kill a Mockingbird in London. Talking about the pros and cons of fame, he said, I remember watching Gwyneth Paltrow deliver her Oscar acceptance speech in floods of tears. My God, how open. The poor girl was just so intimate with these unnamed millions of people. I couldn't do that. I just feel like a squirrel at a fox hunt in those things. So awkward and uncomfortable. Donovan Leitch. Gwyneth's reputation for remaining on good terms with her exes would continue. It was a real blast from the past when Leitch shared a smooch with Paltrow, whom he dated 20 years prior, when they ran into each other at a Dodgers game in 2014, 6 days after she and Chris Martin announced their separation, thereby prompting the need for an explanation. We were sitting in the owner's box in front of 30,000 people with the 2 children right next to us, he told the Daily Mail. That isn't exactly the setting for a secret liaison. Leitch said, Gwyneth and I have always been close. I consider her to be one of my closest friends. We have tons of great friends in common. Brad Pitt, the one that got away. For both, perhaps? I have cared that up, Brad. Paltrow said on the Girl Boss Radio podcast when host Sophia Maruzo mentioned Gwyneth's great love of the mid-dash to late 90s, whom she met in 1994 on the set of the thriller 7EN, playing his ill-fated wife. When he won a Golden Globe for 12 Monkeys in 1996, Pitt's final thank you was reserved for especially the love of my life, my angel, Gwyneth Paltrow. They got engaged. They even got matching haircuts. But then they broke up in June 1997. Paltrow has been relentless in blaming herself for the demise of their relationship, telling Diane Sawyer in 2003, I'm so lucky that I spent time with Brad, somebody who was such a good person, especially when I was, such a mess. Admittedly, the relentless media attention, which peaked when long-lens nude photos of the couple taken while they were vacationing in the Caribbean ended up online, really got to her then, understandably so. My kind of internal stuff really tripped up that whole relationship, Paltrow said. And I felt really responsible, and also like I was the architect of my own misery. I just made a big mess out of it. The actress told Howard Stern in 2015 that her beloved father, Bruce Paltrow, who died in 2002, adored him like a son. But I was such a kid. I was 22 when we met. It's taken me until 40 to get my head out of my ass. You can't make that decision when you're 22 years old. I wasn't ready, and he was too good for me. Only recently did Paltrow tell the New York Times that she too was subject to unwanted advances from alleged serial predator Harvey Weinstein roughly 20 years ago, when she was dating Pitt, and that Pitt confronted Weinstein at an event afterward.